Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. In today's episode, we have a pretty interesting episode for you guys. You definitely want to miss, so make sure to hit the subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you haven't already. Anyway, let me get into this topic. As y'all know, the Lakers are one of those teams that are looking to have a bounce back season this coming season. Last season was supposed to be a championship caliber season for the team, as y'all know. They acquired Russell Westbrook. They had all of these high expectations. They had their big three. But ultimately, due to, poor play, injuries, the team didn't even make it into the play-in tournament last season. And as a result of that, they ended up firing their head coach in Frank Vogel and replacing him with a first-year head coach in Darvin Ham, right? So that's the first big thing that happened. And according to reports recently, it had been said that the Lakers were actually the Lakers actually had their eyes on acquiring Bradley Beal to join the Lakers team. We even reported this a few days ago in one of the reports that we did about a week or so ago. But according now to CBSSports.com, it looks as if that Bradley Beal may be staying put in Washington, D.C., according to this article that we got here. So what we want to do is we want to get into this article, and we're going to come back and react to things here. So let me get into this article here. Starts off with the headlines. NBA rumors. Bradley Beal expected to sign a $248 million max extension with the Wizards this summer, per report. The article continues on. Bradley Beal's future with the Washington Wizards has been a topic of discussion for years. Between a trade and free agency rumors, it feels like he's always been on the verge of leaving, and yet he never does. It appears that this summer will be more of the same. Beal has a player option for next season worth $36.4 million and is widely expected to opt out and sign a new long-term deal. The big question was whether it would be with the Washington Wizards or elsewhere, but based on the latest intel from ESPN, it will be the former. It continues on. Even if Beal simply resigns with the Wizards, he can increase his 2022-2023 salary to the projected max of $42 million per Adrian Wojnarowski. Beal is very likely to decline the player option and resign with the Washington Wizards on a 5-year deal worth a projected $248 million that would take him through the age of 33. Last week, a report from The Athletic indicated that Beal had already made up his mind, but was not ready to reveal his decision. That coincides with him staying in Washington, staying in DC. While teams do often break the league's tampering rules, mid-June would be quite early in the free agency process to sign Beal to have worked out a deal with his new team, and it continues on further and further. So basically, that's what the article said there. You guys can go check it out on CBS Sports, read it for yourself. Whatever you guys wanted, you can check it out there for yourselves. Now, this seems to be bad news for the Lakers for one big reason. And that reason is the Russell Westbrook contract. Bradley Beal has a $36.4 million player option, and Russell Westbrook has a $47 million option as well. If both players picked up their options, both teams could have done a sign and trade, because I think what would have happened was the Washington Wizards would probably have to include another player to make the salaries match, maybe a pick here and there, I don't know, and then try to trade Bradley Beal to the Los Angeles Lakers and essentially bring Russell Westbrook back to the Washington Wizards, the team he was with 2 seasons ago. But if Beal opts out of his deal and decides to sign that extension, that $250 million contract, that means that he would be off the table. Essentially, that's what it means. And it means that Russell Westbrook would remain a Laker. And for some Laker fans, they're not too excited about that news. As I said before early in this video, going into last season, Russell Westbrook was supposed to be one of their big three. And I think the Lakers, what happened last season was this. They overreacted to the move that the Brooklyn Nets made. And as I said before, I'm going to say it again. The NBA is a copycat league. They're going to do whatever they think the next team just did that made them a championship contender. And in the case of the Lakers, I think that's exactly what happened. They looked at what Brooklyn had with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, in James Harden, and they said to themselves, okay, listen, we got to go out there and get another big time player. And I think in the process of that, they didn't look at the X and O's, and they didn't really figure out, how that pairing would work out. And surprisingly, LeBron, who I heard, according to reports, really gave his blessings to that deal. Apparently, LeBron didn't do his due diligence because LeBron James and Russell Westbrook's games don't mesh. LeBron is he controls the ball. He has a high usage rate, and he likes to play with great shooters. In the case of Russell Westbrook, he does exactly that, and he's not a great shooter, which means that he ended up being a spot up shooter, or they forced him to be the primary decision maker. When that happened, you saw a lot of those errant passes, those bad passes that Russell Westbrook was making, and ultimately it ended up being a disaster. And at the end of the season, a lot of Laker fans said, "Please, can we get this guy the hell up out of here?" So that's the situation with Russell Westbrook. And if Bradley Beal re-signs with the Washington Wizards, he is off the board, which brings us to Kyrie Irving. We've also been hearing reports that Kyrie Irving may join the Los Angeles Lakers due to an impasse that he's having with his current team, with the Brooklyn Nets. As y'all know, we recently put up a poll on our channel before producing this video. And on that poll, funny enough, I believe we put up that poll. I'm actually going to get the information here. We put up that poll. I just want to verify how long ago we put it up. We put that poll up about an hour or so ago. And in that poll, we asked the question: if the Nets implode and everyone leaves, who's most to blame? Out of that, in the last hour, 5,200 people voted on that poll, and 57% said Kyrie Irving, and then 37% said the Nets management, and then the rest voted for KD. If you bring in Kyrie Irving, you're bringing in a guy that can score. He has great chemistry with LeBron. He has championship experience, but he's quite volatile. You really don't know what you're getting with him. And it seems as if that now the Lakers may still have to go after Kyrie. But also, what we're hearing and what I'm hearing this morning is that there may be a possibility that LeBron James returns to Cleveland. So at this particular moment, no one really knows what's going on with the Los Angeles Lakers and their organization. But for me, what it looks like, it seems as if this offseason is going to be nothing but fireworks. And I think it's going to be just as interesting as certain stretches in the NBA playoffs. That's the thing about the NBA. Just when the season is over, you think, okay, everything is done. There's no more interesting things to talk about. Then you have the off season, and now we're talking about this. And before you know it, the NBA season is going to start. So really, my message to you guys is get your popcorn ready. Get your popcorn ready, because we are in for a very, very, very interesting offseason. So what I want to know from you guys is this: what do you think about the reports? What do you think about what's being said? Do you think Bradley Beal resigns? What do you think the Lakers do? Do you think LeBron moves? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we'll definitely catch you guys on the next episode. Catch y'all on the next episode.